Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video about the vMenu installation with FiveM servers. I was having some issues and I was going through the documentation and I kept coming up with the same issues, and I kept doing testing and testing and testing and nothing seemed to fix it. It was changing permissions, and that was essentially the issues I was having. I was able to get vMenu installed just fine. The documentation that Vespora has given to install it seems to be just fine. But the permissions information does not seem to quite cover the scope. I had one issue where I wanted to use my vMenu because I wanted to limit the amount of weapons you could use. I didn't want people using like the railgun or the like alien blaster gun thing. They just don't make sense to me. So I'll show you the issue I was having. I was changing the permissions according to the documentation, and this is what I was getting. Player-related options, weapon options, handguns, AP pistol, and it says you do not have permissions to use this option, right? And according to the documentation, I changed it and I unlocked the weapon, or I allowed the weapon that I wanted, and I can get in the menu for that weapon. All the other ones that I left unavailable are right here, but when I go in there, I still can't equip it. So I just wanted to go through and show you how to make it where you can actually equip the weapon, because the documentation does not cover it fully. So we're going to bounce out of here. By the way, I made myself a little test server on my local host so that way I can log in and out way quicker. If you try to do it through Zap hosting or any other sort of remote server, you're going to have to wait to see the server for a few minutes. So I highly suggest when you're doing these sorts of tests, make yourself a local host and you can jump in and out of your server a lot quicker. So we'll go over the documentation here, and it's going to explain how to actually install it. It's pretty simple to install. You just come over here and you download the zip. I've already downloaded it already, but I'll just download it again. Alright, and then it should be right here. So you're going to open this up. Then I like to just extract it to the desktop. There we go. Oh, my bad, I meant to extract the whole thing, not like that. But that's alright, we don't even need to do that. We'll just go over to the server real quick. So what I do is I'm going to delete the vMenu I already have installed real quick. We'll delete that. If I can get it to delete. There we go. So what I'm going to do is to install it, I'm just going to create a vMenu right here. That's in your, I'll show you real quick. Sorry. FX server. Server data. Okay, you see resources here. I'm going to create a vMenu folder here. Name that vMenu. You need to have a lowercase v, capital M, E, N, U. Just like that, otherwise it won't work. And then you can just take all these files right here and drag them into vMenu. Alright, so now that they're there, I'm going to exit out of that. Go into here. Should see the resource.lua here, resources vMenu, resource.lua, and your permissions will be right in here. So I'm going to go into the permissions real quick, and actually I'm just going to copy the permissions. And I'm going to go back up here to resources. Server data. So you want to go to your server.cfg file is, and you're going to want to paste the permissions.cfg there. Then in your server.cfg, you're going to edit this, edit with Notepad, and at the top you want exec permissions.cfg. With Zap hosting, Vespora recommends you leave the permissions.cfg in the config file where it starts at. But for this case, I'm just going to leave it here. But if you were to leave it in the config file, all you have to do is change this exec to resources, and then it'd be slash, then it'd be vMenu slash config slash permissions.cfg. That should be how that looks. And according to his documentation, oh, I'm sorry, I did the wrong slashes. So it'd be slashes like this. getting myself turned around here. So that's how you'd want it to look. And then down here, put start vMenu or ensure. Doesn't really matter. These started out with ensure, so for my localhost server I have it ensure, but on my Zap hosted server they all had start, so I just left it as start. Alright, so then you'll save this. Oh wait, I don't have that here, so I'm going to delete that for now. And I'm just going to use exec permissions.cfg. Save. Alright, so now we've got in the resources we have vMenu, and then here config. Now the permissions.cfg is still here, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to use that one. It's actually going to use the one right here because in the server.cfg I told it to execute this one. So to mess with the permissions is what we're going to do. We're going to come in here to permissions.cfg, edit, and then for example like the weapons permissions, that's what I was having trouble with, right? His documentation specifically states if you remove the vmenu.weaponoptions.all permission, you can specify specific weapons that players can access using the weapon options menu by granting permissions for every weapon that you want to allow below. vmenu.weaponoptions.all automatically grants all weapons. So based on this documentation, it sounds like I would need to come up here, comment this out, and then uncomment any of the weapons I wanted, such as the AP pistol. And that's how I got the situation like you saw before, where the menu was there, the weapon was there, but then it didn't give me permissions. I've scoured on his resources over here, all of his documentation here, even in the permissions section here. Everything here I've read doesn't say anything about changing the thing that I'm going to show you. So we'll just downsize this. The one thing I realized reading through here is this line right here, vmenu.weaponoptions.spawn. So if that's still commented out, I'm assuming with weaponoptions.all that includes weaponoptions.spawn in it, just like it includes all of the weapons that are down here commented out. And if you don't understand commenting, you just put this hashtag symbol here, and that actually turns this into a comment, so the code doesn't actually run. Anything without it, any lines without it, will run. So by commenting out weaponoptions.all, oh, that's weather options. By commenting out weaponoptions.all, it will no longer read this line, but it doesn't read this line either. So we're going to go ahead and uncomment that. And we're going to save this. All right, close that down. And just out of habit, like always delete your cache because that can cause some issues. So I always delete my cache after any changes I make. So I've got that. And then I'm going to come in here to the starter for my local server. I'm going to start this up. Delete all these since I accidentally put them all there. I meant to put them in a folder. Alright, so this is why I use a local server for testing, because now I can literally just go into FiveM. Wait for this to load up. Come over to Direct Connect, localhost, and it should see it here in a second. Whereas if I was using my remote host, it'd take a few minutes, so any changes I make, I'd have to go back and forth on. Loading screen will be done any minute now. Alright, so respond in, player related options, weapon options, handguns, AP pistol, and look, I can actually equip it now. I was ripping my hair out about this for days before I realized that little weaponoptions.spawn needed to be changed. So I hope this helps some of you. I hope somebody that's having the same issues as me sees it and they'd be quiet. I was hoping that if anyone has the same issue, they can see this video and not go through the same process I had to go through. So I thank you for watching. If this helped you, please, like, subscribe. Setting up a server right now. If anyone's interested in that, just drop me a comment. I'll send you a link to the Discord and you can come play with us. All right. Thank you, and bye.